Welcome to the Conference of Movements, COM26V.com. Today, we are celebrating. We're celebrating the creation of a blueprint for the future of humanity. This blueprint is to create a new constitution for the earth that will protect Mother Earth and allow everyone on this earth to thrive. This initiative is led by indigenous peoples from around the world. And our goal is to create a new society where everybody, all beings on this great planet are able to thrive, and we are protecting Mother Earth and our planet. And today we have a special guest with us, and we have the great honor to invite and have accepted to be on our show. His name is Uncle, I think,
Angangok, Uncle
Agangkok, elder from Greenland and Inuits, and he's here to share an extremely important message to us about ice wisdom. We're following his teachings for many years now, and please introduce yourself and please share with us the blueprint for the future of humanity that's needed. We'll start with prayer. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Let me just start with a prayer of gratitude that we are able to meet each other now, and because the task is this enormous task. As you know, as you're well aware, that us, the indigenous people of this earth, the original inhabitants of those lands which have been conquered now everywhere, have not had such a good time by the oppressors who came to our lands and just took our lands away from us. So now that we're working on recreating ourselves to the new world which is coming to us now, I want to say thank you to everyone who is participating in that. There is a really important prayer, and it came upon that our beautiful mother, she knew how to melt the ice in the heart of man. And me, as a runner for the elders, I traveled the world, and then I went from New York City back home to Greenland. I told her that I don't want to be a runner anymore. And she asked me, how come? And I told her that nobody changes. No matter how much I talk, nobody ever changes. And I cannot just be part of it anymore. I don't want to be a runner, because what I had to tell them is the same thing I had told them before, that I've been there and there, here and there, and that's it. And then my mother stood up. And when she stands up, of course, then you stand up with her. And she took my hands. And then she looked at me and she said, my son, you're just going to have to change the ways. And I can hear that. And she said, you're going to have to learn to melt the ice in the heart of man. Only by melting the ice in the heart of man, man will have a chance to change and begin using his knowledge wisely. Mm-hmm. So I shook her hand so she can open her eyes, because she had closed them. And I asked her, how? And my mother, being my mother, she closed her eyes again, and she just said, you're just going to have to learn to melt the ice in the heart of man. Only by melting the ice in the heart of man, man will have a chance to change and begin using his knowledge wisely. And then she shook her hands, I opened my eyes, and she went into her kitchen. And in that honor, I created a prayer, because that became my task, to somehow learning to melt the ice in the heart of man, because if we don't change, we will not survive. And this is the prayer the way I do it. Oh ho. 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 It's become too emotional. To make changes in the world, I learned how difficult it is, because I realized that we have so much knowledge as indigenous people that we could literally change the world in which we live. But the authorities who control us has made it really impossible to stand up. My people, according to my grandmother, that long ago we were standing tall and powerful as we are meant to be. But the oppression broke us down. And then my father in 1969 and my mother instructed me that I should build a center for healing for our people. So our people can stand tall and powerful as they're meant to be one more time. So, and that's where I am now. I'm going to be building that center now. And the idea is that we will recapture our language and our traditions, our beliefs, not depending on something outside, but become self-sufficient as we were when I was born. When I was born, there was no electricity, no running water, no roads, just a village with 3 houses. And I grew up like that for the first 12 years of my life. And now I had traveled the world. And I've spoken to enormous crowds. I think the biggest crowd I spoke to was in Rio de Janeiro with 350,000 people. And then I've spoken to the tiny villages with just one family in the far north. So in that range, I learned, and in my meetings, I met many, many nations of the world. I have been to every single state of the United States except for Nevada, Oregon, and Hawaii. I've been to Pan America, Caribbean, in South America, in Africa, in Asia, in India, in Europe, Arctic Siberia. I realized that we have so much to offer the world. The way they have lived and taught us is not working. In our teachings, my grandmother told us that one day a big river will come. She comes every spring when in the big lakes up in the mountains, when the water becomes warm, it begins to expand, as you know. And that expansion will break the ice and the river will come down with lots of chunks of ice and but lots of fish. Down there at the bottom of it, we will wait for those fish so we can catch them as many as we can before they hit the ocean. And then many people have fallen into the water. And my grandmother told us that when your family falls into the water, into that big river, do not jump into it to save your family. No, learn to say thank you to your family. Tell them how much you love them, what they have done for you and what they mean to you, and thank them for being part of your life, and then wish them well, and then run up the hill. Because up there, the next world will come, and your knowledge this next world needs. So that's the big river. And I've been wondering, why does he talk about the big river? I realize now that this pandemic you and I we've been hit with is one of those rivers where everything around us is falling apart. Literally. Accept my apology to being too emotional. I'm supposed to be a very cool guy who doesn't get emotional, but I failed today. That pandemic now is really speeding up the falling apart of the societies we live in. Our politics are no longer working. Our governing systems are now no longer working. Our traditions has been lost. The religions of the new mankind have not worked. And then most of us have lost our own languages and our own traditions as indigenous people. One day we will stand tall again. Oh, and then on top of that, economy is falling apart. Everything's is collapsing in front of us. Right now in my country, the only way we can eat vegetables is to buy them from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a long way to travel to Greenland. And then the transportation system falling down, you and I will be experiencing many, many starving people. We'll be experiencing many disasters because of the climate change, which we did not pay attention to. And then the only one who will survive are the indigenous people. They will survive. They know how to live with the land. Most non-native people do not know how to live the land. Remember, about 70% of us live in big cities, but we live with the land. At home, I have the best vegetables of the world, which is ocean vegetables.
Mm.
And I have the mammals of the ocean, the fish of the ocean, and animals on the earth. So I will be fine. I know how to live in a cold country. Minus 60 Celsius. It doesn't really matter. I know how to do it. I can build an igloo. with no problem. I have teepees made of sealskin, so it's comfortable inside at the coldest time of the year. The coldest place I have been to in the north is minus 77 Celsius. I survived. So we can do that. And when I go and visit my family in Caribbean, they know how to live. When I visit them in Africa, they know how to live with the land. When I go visit my family in Siberia, they know how to do it. But when I go to Munich or New York City or London, England, they don't know how to do it. So your initiative, I'm so happy you invited me. It's like fulfillment of my task given to me by my elders, that I should be building a center of healing where our peoples can stand tall and powerful as they're meant to be one more time. And through that, we can create that union and have a voice at the new level of United Nations of the world, and to make a big difference, because most people literally will not know what to do because they live in a city and those cities are falling apart. I remember one of the indigenous native people in United States telling me that one day blood will flow in New York City. And it looks like it's gonna come because people will not have enough food in New York City. They cannot grow their food there. They depend on, just like Greenland, they depend on food to come from outside New York City. And people will be hungry. Same goes in Chicago. Same goes in Miami or Los Angeles. They cannot grow their food in the city. They depend on somewhere else. And the list goes on and on. Sorry, I talked too much, David.
No.
I didn't ask permission to talk.
Oh, we are so enjoying you, and your message resonates through every part of me. So I wanted to share with you how honored I am to sit here before you. And actually the things that, and I feel your emotion, and thank you for sharing as deeply as you have. And thank you for your prayer of sound, of healing and vibration and connection with Creator. Your message is so profound, and the things that you touched on, things that we have been talking with our Indigenous communities about through this week. And when you speak on the healing center that you're starting, oh, that is just tremendous. That is something that has been part of a collective vision that has been put on my heart through us bringing our Indigenous nations together from around the world. And I really believe in what you're saying. And I've said that, you know, Mother Earth, we're not going to have to dig up the pipelines because Mother Earth is going to throw up the pipelines. You know, she's going through these changes, and I believe that bringing our nations together from around the world, protecting our seeding, getting our elders and our youth together, you know, having different healing, because of course that trauma that is circulate, I'll say that I believe the healing can circulate that much stronger, and that goes into bringing those healing centers into our communities as our Mother Earth does go through these changes, because our Mother Earth is going to go through those changes. And you're absolutely, I really am in line with your spirit on what you are sharing, as far as I also believe that the unity of our Indigenous nations is really what is going to save the world, with the little gap that we have, that frame right here, you know. as our mother goes through these changes. So everything that you spoke on, and your prayer being so powerful as well, is in very strong vibration with my spirit and a collective vision.
Oh,
I think her sound dropped off, Uncle. We'll just wait till she come back. Her sound dropped off.
Community
say it
of
again.
our elders and medicine people that share in this collective vision. So I'm just very happy to be here with you, to work collectively with you, support your healing center. So I just wanted to share that with you, and thank you so much for your message.
Uncle, just to be aware, Sherry is very humble, and because she had a vision for wellness centers or healing centers around the world, also, and she is trying to set one up in Colorado area. And then afterwards, there will be healing centers around the world.
So we're working on bringing the buffalo back here as well. We had over 5 tribes in the mountains here, and from the Arapaho, the Ute, the Apache, and actually the Comanche as well. But most people are familiar with the Ute that were up through this region here. And I live in the woods. I live in the mountains here. However, we also are looking with our other nations, and I'm speaking with about us doing the healing centers and protecting our medicines. So we're looking at Standing Rock right now. Relatives out in Montana, our Nakota out there, want to be involved as well. So it's starting to spread the message that you just actually shared so profoundly. So I'm just humbled and just honored, like I said, to sit here in front of you and your walk. So thank you.
You know that when my grandmother talks about the big river coming, I've always wondered what it means. And as about 10 years old, she walked with her family to a big mountain, which is now a big airport below it. From up there, which is about a kilometer tall mountain, you can see the earth to the curvature. It's about 450 kilometers long, what you can see with your own eyes. So when you look around, you can see the length of 900 kilometers. To put it in reality, it's about the length of Germany from north to south. You can see with your own eyes.
Wow.
The weather is different up there. It's clear, not polluted like in the big cities. So, and then she told us, and I grew up with the story that when she came up there, she realized there was only one Earth. And I just love the idea that a little 10-year-old girl climbing a big mountain and realizing there's only one Earth. That's all she could see. Because she could see 900 kilometers from east to west, from north to south. And then she said, and there was only one moon, and there was only one sun. So I thought, isn't it amazing, a 10-year-old believing that there's only one Earth? Now the science have proven to us that there's one Earth only. And the indigenous people, the original inhabitants of this Earth, who we are supposed to be the caretakers and custodians of Mother Earth, what's on her and within her. That's our job. The settlers have done so bad that we lose so many species of animals every day today. These are our relatives, the animal world.
Mhm.
And then, of course, the plant world. It's amazing what they have done to destroy the beauty of the diversity of the plant world, so as to make better money. If you ever go to Italy, you will see the Italians must be eating at least 200 kilo of grapes every single year, every one of them. And of course, they don't eat it, they make wines of it. But there's only 4 species of grapes they use. So everything else is killed off. And the list goes on like that over and over, all over the world.
Mm.
So we have destroyed the diversity of the plant world. In the animal world, we call it that there are 4 species: the ocean, the water, fish, and then the crawling ones, the walking ones, and the flying ones.
Mm.
Those are the animals we talk about. The ocean, the water animals, the crawling ones, the walking ones, and the flying ones. And it is so amazing to watch the sea eagle, which is our national bird. Sea eagle is 3 meters in from one wingspan to the other. That's 9 feet. That's the biggest eagle in the Northern Hemisphere. So when you look at that, how land is being destroyed in the mainland of North America, it's really sad to realize how much have been destroyed. Then I had that incredible privilege. You probably remember someone called Nelson Mandela. Do you remember him? He
Yes.
came to visit.
Yes.
He wanted
Yes.
to meet the Eskimo leaders.
Mm.
And then I was the only one who came there with the commissioner, Mikito. She is a woman, so she took Winnie Mandela and the rest of the family to another room. So Nelson Mandela and I, we sat there together. And his message was, "Uncle, don't be like us." So I looked at him, tell me, our land was rich, wealthy of minerals, and we wanted to develop it so we can become wealthy as well. And he says, you know, Uncle, my people are still on the ground and we are still the poorest of the poor.
Mm.
And we have done it in North America in many native communities. We have done that in Siberia with many native communities. We've done it all over the world. In Canada, we've done the same. Now my country is next. My country is the wealthiest land on earth in minerals. And the only thing I can think of is what Nelson Mandela told me personally. We were holding arms together like that for an hour and a half. Said, don't be like us. And the only one who can do that is the indigenous world, where we can work together. If we can work together, we can, of course, the earth needs minerals to be able to build things. But this time the economy has to be different. It has to be the benefit for the local people, not for their destruction. So that form of governance system of United Nations you want to create, that's one of the most important things we had to do. That the wealth is distributed equally to the
Mhm.
local people. If you don't do that, we will repeat the same thing.
Mhm.
Everyone will lose.
Mhm.
You know, Uncle, so thank you so much for this sharing. You know, the way we see it, 70% of the economy is shut down, but it's still functioning. So that means we don't need 70% of producing all that crap or garbage, right?
Mhm.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
That's the beauty. That's the thing. But when we abuse it, more people get poor, and the rich get richer.
Mhm.
But now, 9 months later, we haven't collapsed yet. But then again, the hunger will come. We don't like the idea, but it will come. This is part of the big river. It will come. When it comes, the only ones who will know how to grow things at home are our peoples. Your people, they know how to live in the forest. They know how to deal with the land. The manufacturing farms do not know how to do it. It will destroy the land. They have done it already. Look just north of you in Malaysia, how much forest they have burned. And the land becomes useless after burning. Look at our families in Amazonia. Enormous. I took my eldest down there. My great aunt, she was 90 years old when I took her down there. And I took my father's uncle's brother, he was 84 years old. Yes, I almost killed them because of the heat, but we were there. But it was an amazing visit to realize how much land they have lost down there in the Amazonia, the native people.
Mm.
It's scary to look at.
Mhm.
So
Thank you so much. To touch on what you just mentioned, yes, with the doctrine of discovery and the colonization that hit us, our reservations were set up as prisons, and the tribal numbers are really prisoner numbers. And so, even Hitler looking at our reservations here to start the concentration camps in Germany. So the trauma through the boarding schools and all of that, the assimilation process that has run so deep in our community, that's why these healing centers are so essential right now, because even in our own communities, things are set up to take away still from our people in modern day genocide. And getting back to our heart and mind way of life, which is so in line with Mother Earth, and having other ways, because of course the casinos aren't going to matter, in the future. And our land, I agree with you. And that's why going for our sovereignty and working with our medicine peoples and our elders and using good wealth right now to overcome corrupt wealth right now, to set up establishments for future generations as our Mother Earth.
I think yeah, Sherry is frozen again. Okay. Uncle,
30%. Oh, is our sound, did the
yeah,
sound?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I was frozen, yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so I was just saying that we're not getting it. It's about our medicine people and our elders coming together with our healing centers, our nations, having our youth places to thrive in that sense, as our Mother Earth goes through changes. Because you're right, the governance from the federal governance to the tribal governance is not working. It's not working, and there is a lot of corruption in both. There's a lot of corruption, so I resonate with everything that you shared. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Uncle, to do this work is extremely hard because most indigenous nations have been traumatized. They're in deep pain from residential school, boarding school, genocide, sterilization of women, stealing of land, fighting, create this hopelessness. Like it sounds Standing Rock that brought hope, but then afterwards it became it wasn't a complete defeat, but it was a setback. All those things creates a trauma. To bring the indigenous nations all together will take a tremendous task. but it's necessary to protect Mother Earth. And
Absolutely.
and we would like, of course, we need all the assistance we can get from our elders to provide us the wisdom, strength, and guidance for that. And we would like you to invite you on that journey. You already started your journey. Basically, we're continuing your journey to be able to do that, to protect the earth.
David, it would be a privilege and joy if you invite me, that I will accept it,
Yes.
because it is part of my task given to me by my elders to create some kind of healing, so we can
Yes.
all stand tall and powerful as we're meant to be one more time.
So each of the locations that has a General Assembly building to house the 1,000 nations, the first one is in New Jersey, has a healing center it built in there with there also. So you'll be a second healing center after yours, and Sherry has 2 other ones. So we also not this healing center has to be connected together because we're sharing knowledge, information, traditional medicines, and everything, including ourselves like acupuncture or plant medicines, that to share all those knowledge together, to connect it. And I think it's a key is we've been working alone for a long time, each in the nation. Why don't we work together this time to do it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I am ready. Give me a call and I will be there.
Oh, we're so looking forward to it, and I'm so looking to coming out your way, and can't wait to have you out this way as well. So, um, I know my family is just gonna adore you. So yes, yes. Um,
I will do better with my makeup next time, I promise you.
oh, well, you are wonderful. So
Uh,
thank you so much.
Sherry, would you like to describe a little bit about your healing centers, what you're thinking? Because healing center is part of our blueprint for the future of
Yes.
humanity. So could share a little bit about why it was in your vision?
Well, it really encompasses humanity as a whole, as you were speaking of the four, you know. Um, so and walking in that way with our life here. So not, humanity, so human beings being human beings again, and respecting, our land and our nature, and walking together. So when I speak of humanity, I'm speaking of all life. I'm speaking of the plant life, the animal life, and us as human beings. I see that as a village in the sense of the restoration, but with our agriculture, our sustainable agriculture, our food sovereignty. So our food sovereignty, having, actual living areas for our healing. So for example, for our elders and for our veterans, youth, foster care, children that are coming out of the different systems, our murdered, missing Indigenous women, children and men that have been traumatized. So really covering the trauma in our areas, and having an area with our animals as well. So horse therapy, and we have a lot of dogs that you know don't have homes on the res, and having an area where we can actually bring the dogs in, and have the children and whoever wants to be involved work as, turning these animals into service animals, and helping the community, and having our own curriculum, set up, because we do hold a different type of knowledge that needs to be taught from our elders to our youth and our communities. So having that way come back, and be a part of our culture that tried to be stripped for so long.
Mhm.
Sherry's frozen again, Uncle.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh-huh. But you can understand, you
I-
both of we all share the same collective vision.
Yes,
Yes, so it really encompasses a full healing
yeah.
space. That's really what it is. And,
You
and,
know,
and friendly, I started a petition called Friendly for Humanity Technology because I just went through radiation poisoning. And I
Oh.
really believe that we are being very affected by the transformers, and the radiation is also polluting our water as well. So I believe in technologies that do not take away from Mother Earth. And there are so many technologies out today that do take away from Mother Earth that are harming our Earth. So that's another thing. And I'm not into those big wind turbines either, because they kill the birds. They set vibrations off through the land that, you know, are actually affecting people's brains. We have small vortex wind turbines. There's many things that we can do that don't take away from our Mother Earth. And so that's what I'm focused on with the centers as well. And that's it. So I'll wrap up with that.
I can hardly wait to have a visit with you too, because I am creating a whole new village. In, you know, my grandmother's land was just my local government and my national government. They made my grandmother's land with UNESCO heritage land. So now I'm the oldest one in the family. Now my grandmother's land is now mine, and that it's almost 400 kilometers long from east to west. So when you come, you have lots of room.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, we will not be worried about how you're going to sleep. So and there I'm creating a village for about 2,500 apartments.
I love this.
So I'm creating completely self-sufficient, self-sustaining village completely from A to Z.
Oh, this is beautiful.
So it's and don't tell anybody. I just got the funding for it.
Congratulations.
This is great. Well, myself, I work. I'm not very good with, you know, technology. That this will be the case, and even in fact, with logging on to the Zoom, I'm always having it sent to my email and my phone just in case, type of thing. But I work with my hands, and I'm a formulator, so I work with herbs and medicines, and so I just anyway.
Then you had to come up north and help us growing medicines.
Oh, I would love to be a part of that. I would love that. I'm so excited to continue working with you. I'm really excited.
I've
You've
worked
really
on-
lifted my spirit in such a
Oh.
way, and in such a big way.
Just
Yes.
so you know, David and Sherry, I was told to build that center for healing in August of 1969.
Mhm.
Wow. That's the year of my travel camper. It says 6970. Yep.
So that's how long it's taken me. But now I'm gonna,
Wow.
as soon as they open for the country, with right now they closed the country because Corona in Denmark is very bad. So I
Yes.
will travel home and start preparing for the building.
This is
When you come and
exciting.
visit, you're
I
gonna have,
will
you're gonna have to,
definitely be there.
you're gonna have to be staying in the sealskin teepee
Mhm.
to begin with, but then you will have the finest apartment afterwards.
Oh, this is beautiful. The thing is, my little son, he's 10. He might have to, he's our youth ambassador. So if he can tag along, that would be great.
You cannot travel without him.
This
You're not
is
allowed to.
Basilio. This is my little
Hello.
guy.
Mhm.
I am your uncle.
And this, he's introducing little Nigel. Say hi to your uncle.
Hi.
Oh, so, well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, David, for including me in that plan.
Yes, we are actually the three peacemakers, David Camp, Sherry Lewis, Mesfin Zaid from Eritrea, African descent,
Yes.
but his brother just passed away yesterday, so he couldn't be here. So we are three. So we call ourselves the three peacemakers.
Okay. Oh, good.
Yes. Oh,
So